and welcome to our video honoring veterans. Before we begin, let us all stand and recite the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you. You may be seated. All gave some, and some gave all. This is the motto of veterans of the armed forces of the United States of America. This motto sums up the service that all veterans provided and still provide while being in the military. This exemplifies the service of all veterans. Some were not lucky enough to return home to their families. Others made many other sacrifices in their lives to serve and to support us, their fellow Americans. Last Thursday was the day where we honored all veterans in all branches of service. We recognized their bravery, their love of country, and those that live here, and as Americans, we say thank you. Veterans Day is not Memorial Day. Memorial Day is a day to remember those that have given all during their time of military. Veterans Day is a day where we recognize all of the citizens of our country that in some circumstances chose and others were directed to serve in armed forces to help us keep what we hold most dear, our freedom. It is a day we recognize service. We say words of appreciation to those that gave all and to all that gave some. Last Thursday was Veterans Day, and to commemorate this day, we'll watch an inspirational and informational video about the day and its importance. We then invite you, the students here at EW, to write a short piece in appreciation of service in the country that we deliver to local veterans here in Edmonds. With that, please pay close attention and consider letting veterans know that you appreciate all that they have done for those that do not serve.
Hi, I'm Emma.
I'm Jalen, and thank you to all the veterans who have served our country.
In order to honor our veterans at UW this year, we conducted some interviews with them to share their stories.
Today we will be interviewing Dick Floyd and Lisa Lyons.
Okay. So, what is your name?
My name is Dick Floyd.
Okay. How many years did you serve?
3 years, 5 months, 11 days. I was supposed to be 3.5, but I got out early for Christmas. The president let us out.
What was your position?
I was an airplane mechanic.
Why did you serve in that position?
So I'm sorry.
Why did you serve in that position?
Well, that's what they trained me to do. I went into the service a month out of high school when I was 17 and went through basic training. Then I went through a tech school in Texas that taught me how to be an airplane mechanic.
What was your experience like?
As a mechanic or as a member of the service? As a mechanic, it was great. I loved airplanes. I still do. As a matter of fact, I build models now. But military was okay. Basic training is always bad. It's, a lot of discipline, a lot of stuff you never did before in your life and probably never want to do again. But it was okay. And I went to Korea. I'm a Korean veteran. I was there just a little over a month after that war started. I went on an advanced party that opened up an Air Force base just outside of Daegu, Korea. And I was there for a little over 18 months. It got exciting at first. It was kind of ho-hum after a while when the war moved north from where we were, but it was an interesting experience.
Where are you now in terms of occupation, family life, interests, hobbies, anything like that?
Very retired. I retired in 1985. I went back to work. I retired in 1995, and my wife and I traveled around the world a bit, and then I came back and I worked in real estate for 12 years, and retired from that finally. And now I'm an old retired guy. My wife has a little dementia, so I'm her sole caregiver, and I still build airplane models in my basement shop. Lots of them.
Would you actively serve again if you could?
If I was young, I might.
Yeah.
Certainly, they don't. Yes, I would.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Is there a friendly rivalry between the branches of service? And if so, if yours was the best, how was it the best?
Well, mine, of course, was the best. I chose it because, well, I sometimes think that because of my love of the water,
Mhm.
I might have been a better fit for the Coast Guard, but I'm happy with my choice. I spent my life in aerospace, and so it worked out okay. It got me this far.
All right. Well, thank you so much for your time, Mr. Floyd.
Um, so what is your name?
I am Lisa Lyons, and presently I'm a school nurse in the Edmond School District, but I started out my nursing career as a Navy nurse.
How many years did you serve and why did you stay for that length of time?
Sure. I stayed in for 4 years, and because that was the minimum requirement from the scholarship that I received, I joined Navy ROTC in college. And so I had programs in college. I was considered what we call a midshipman. And like the Navy college students at the Naval Academy, they're called the midshipmen too. And so I had some service there, but my requirement for my scholarship was 4 years. I considered staying longer to get to another duty station overseas, but my boyfriend at the time didn't want to marry me and go with me. So I got out after 4 years, which many of us do to start our families.
What was your position and why did you serve in that position?
Well, it was great to get a scholarship to finish nursing school because college is expensive. And I ended up paying out-of-state tuition for Washington State University. So out-of-state is always expensive. And I was a Navy nurse the whole time. I got to work on 3 different floors in different kind of areas of the hospital. So that was a really, really good experience for me. So did lots of different things, but always the Navy nurse.
What was your experience like and what was a negative and positive experience you had?
Well, my experience was I was at a big hospital in Norfolk, Virginia, actually in Portsmouth, and it is surrounded by the most centralized Navy bases, many bases around that area. So we served a huge population and a huge retiree population. And so I had my own apartment and I went to work kind of just like if I were working in another hospital. So I didn't live on base because it was a hospital. We didn't have a lot of that housing available. I could have received bachelor officers' quarters on a base if I had desired, but I stayed in an apartment and went to work. The negative part was that you don't have a ton of choices. And so 1 month in particular, I worked on night shift, evening shift, and day shift all in the same month, which is not something that you would experience in the civilian world. You assign it to a schedule and a shift and then you're on that. But I just say, yes, ma'am, when should I report to work? And we had a really, really busy time where we were short staffed. So sometimes I worked like 5 of our shifts in a row. I also once did a 20-hour shift because we had to shut down the base because of a hurricane was coming. And so and then I ended up sleeping for like 4 hours on the floor in our break room. So the positive thing is that I got to experience lots of different things and lots of different units and move around a lot more than I would have otherwise. Because in the civilian world, you just sign up for a job and it's on the cardiac unit or the ICU or mother baby. And you stay in that specialty until you decide to do something different. But I got to float around and do other things. So it was a really good experience for me.
Yeah. So where are you now currently in occupation, family life, or hobbies?
So as I said, I'm still a nurse. I've been a nurse for a super long time. And like I said, even now I've done lots of different specialties since I've been out. School nursing, this is my 7th year as a school nurse. I did 10 years doing labor and delivery. I worked for an insurance company a couple years. So I've done lots of different things. I have 5 teenagers, and 3 of the girls are at Edmonds Woodway. Our boy is a defector and is at Mount Lake Terrace High, and 1 is at college. Married and still loving nursing, loving the impact that I get to have on families, and especially in this COVID time.
Would you actively serve again if you could, and would you recommend it to others?
Would I actively serve? I wish I had stayed longer. I wish I had gotten to go overseas, because that is a really like tight-knit group. You know, I would have lived on base. Little hospital, and had that experience. I did actually consider going back in after 9/11 happened, because I felt pretty guilty that I was out and other people were actively fighting, but started my family right after that. So that worked out that I didn't. I highly recommend military service. I'm so proud that I served, and wish other people had the pride and loved our country as much as I do, and so proud that I served. And it gave me such a great experience in leadership skills, in tasks, and I highly recommend it for everyone, even if it's a short time, to say that you've done it. And then you get lots of benefits, scholarships, work experience, all kinds of things. Highly recommend it.
Well, that is it. Thank you so much again. It was very nice to talk to you.
You too. Thank you. Bye.
Bye.
We hope you enjoyed these interviews for this video.
Thank you again to all the veterans who have served or are currently serving.
Thank you for being an excellent audience. And please check your email for a link to a Google form from either me, Mr. Mint, or from your principal, Ms. Larson, and consider writing a heartfelt thank you to a veteran here in Edmonds. I will deliver your kind words to our local VFW, Veterans of Foreign Wars, so that they'll see how we honor them. See you Thursday on announcements.